Hurricane Camille's wrath was deadly, violent, and historic. A moment in Nelson County's history that is unmatched. A moment that one Virginia State Trooper knew had to be documented. WDBJ7 Siobhan McGurl continues our special coverage of Remembering Camille 50 years after the flood.
I shall begin this report, which I will name Portrait of Disaster.
This is a story
which began for me on August 20th, 1969.
That dates back 50 years, but one that time cannot erase.
I realized that we had something very big going on.
A young state trooper made sure of that. His older self is thankful.
One day you'll die and everybody is all gone. If you don't share it, then it can't live on, whatever it might be.
The year was 1969. Ed Tinsley was 32. 27 inches of water had just been dumped on Nelson County overnight. It did not take long for Tinsley to realize this was an event that needed to be documented.
Get my old reel-to-reel tape recorder, the big ones with the reels on it, and cut it on, pick the mic up, and you got it.
Tinsley worked for 27 days.
Friday, August the 22nd, Monday, August the 25th, Tuesday, September the 2nd.
Making 12 audio diary entries, recording washed out roads, houses destroyed, sights Tinsley struggled to take in.
Every gully, every little valley, every place, every low spot in the mountain had been washed out as if some giant claw had grabbed hold of it and pulled everything out of it. This was washed all the way down to solid rock. Everything gone.
His job was to make rescues where he could, evacuate survivors, and recover the dead. A number
50 dead, 62 dead, 71 identified dead.
That continued to rise.
I get emotional sometimes thinking about some of the things that went on at the time, but one of the things that you adapt yourself to, and you have to really to do your job, is you operate 100%. In some respects, this was a stress reliever, putting down what happened that day, recording it down, not just keeping it all up here.
In all of this tragedy,
the recordings are raw and unprovoked. In one entry, he reflects on the countless people still missing, some to this day. He spoke of their loved ones who wanted to bury them with a monument to mark their bodies. Tinsley sees the mountains as that monument.
This is something that will outlast any monument that any person on this earth could put out now. So my feeling is, if part of my family was buried under this mass of trees and dirt, I feel like they would have been buried good and a monument erected, which would be much better than anything I could do. The thought I have in mind as we end the 7th day.
I just recited in my mind, I recited there what I had in my mind as to what was going on. I was thinking it. A lot of times I think that's where we make a mistake. We might think a lot of different things, important things, we don't say it.
He would stop recording September 5th. The official death count would rise to 125. Nelson County would return to a new normal. But Tinsley would never forget. He would make sure people...
If I record this now and tell it later, it'll never be as great as what it has been by looking at it.
Always remember.
I'm making this recording day by day just to keep a running record of what goes on in my portrait of a disaster.
In Nelson County, Siobhan McGurl, WDBJ7.
And we will continue our Camille coverage with stories that commemorate the flood and honor those who were impacted. Our last story will be tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And WDBJ7's Tim Saunders and Chief Meteorologist Brent Watts will look back at Camille with a 30-minute special airing on Sunday morning. That'll be at 8:30 a.m.